Hi, I'm Maggie,
Hi, I'm Grace, and this is
a very bookish podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to a very bookish podcast. Today is episode 76. I don't know, whatever the hell episode it is. Um, Today we have some unfortunate news. I mean, it's really kind of hard to say because I'm like gonna tear up. Um, the podcast is ending. Um, I really don't know what to say. But
I'm sorry, I tried. Uh, why did I look at your face? I shouldn't have looked at you.
oh my gosh. No worries, guys. The podcast is not ending. We literally had this planned. Like at the beginning of the year, we were gonna joke. Are you crying?
No, I'm trying to like smooth down my face.
The podcast is not ending, but we do have some updates going forward. I'll let Grace take it away and she can kind of further explain.
So as you guys noticed, we have had a bunch of like missed weeks of uploading episodes, and that's just because life has happened, like with like everything opening back up, people going back to work, me going back to work as like working in a school as a teacher. That is a full-time job plus coaching and doing all of the other things that I do and like graphic design work. My plate is like completely full, and recording has like taken kind of like a back burner because like I don't really have time to record and sit down and do that anymore. And it's just been kind of hard. Like, we haven't been able to take the episodes that, we could have because I wasn't available or, things were happening. And that's just what happens. Like, this is how my schedule was before like COVID. And now that things are just going back to how things used to be, it's just been hard to balance the two, which were like my book Instagram, my book life, all of that stuff used to be like the front of what I was doing. And now it's going back into like the side where like the things I need to actually have a life and to sustain myself are more important. So because of that, I am taking a step back from recording podcast episodes. I'm not saying completely goodbye to being on the podcast. Um, it's just I don't want to stop the podcast from growing simply because I can't be there to record. So we've made the decision to let Maggie do episodes on her own. When I simply cannot record, she will be able to record episodes um, with her, just on her own, solo episodes with her and with whoever our guests are. And because of that, we'll be able to push out episodes like more frequently. And then when I have availability, I can come on, I can still do episodes together. It is kind of sad, because we did make this podcast together. We did decide like this was going to be our thing, and we always talked about how long we would go with it. And it's not saying that this is the end of it. This is not, it's just, a new segment of it is just going to be with a little bit less of me until we get like a balance on, until I get a balance on like life and, finding space to be able to give my all to this episodes. Because like for the past few weeks, I felt like I haven't been able to do my best giving the best content for these podcast episodes, simply because I just have not enough mental space. And it's not fair to like listeners to just, give like a half-assed interview when I can be giving like my fullest best interview, like doing so much more research and doing so much more prep work for the episodes when I have not been able to do that. So, yeah, you guys will hear me soon again. It's just not as often. Okay.
Yeah, and like kind of how Grace said, she will be coming on like episodes when she's free. I was hoping maybe like once a month, once every like 6 episodes or something like that. So she is still going to be like included in like I run everything by her, like a lot of the major like podcast things. Like Grace is still included. Like this is still our podcast. Just Grace kind of needs to figure out her schedule. My schedule is actually starting to slow down a little bit, so that's why I'm able to pick back up. And so that doesn't mean that we're not going to have authors on. I'm still in the works with Valentine, who has been so helpful in giving us authors to talk to and stuff. So it's not just going to be me every episode just talking to you. Some of them might be, and I might just be ranting, but that's kind of how the podcast is for me. So that being said, we do have our merch shop, which is what Grace is kind of focusing more on at the moment of a very bookish shop. We have the Smutsville University collection coming out. So definitely go check that out because Grace and I have worked hard. Grace is still designing designs for it coming out on September 30th at 12 p.m. Central Time on our Etsy store. So we have that collection coming. Grace wants to focus on like her endeavors as well of being a graphic designer and working with other people and helping create products for other people. So it's not that like she doesn't want to do the podcast, but it's that like she just doesn't have time. And I got the time and I got the energy to do it. So we just wanted to let you guys know because we do miss a lot of like weekly episodes and that's just something that we just needed to explain to you guys. And kind of like, if you see an episode in next week and I'm alone and y'all are like, where is Grace? And I don't explain it in that episode, because I'm probably not going to explain it every single episode. That's just the update that we wanted to give you.
Mm-hmm. And, we'll still talk about like, bookish things going on in the community because, it's the community that something that is always going on. Like, for example, a couple days ago that, a company that we loved.
And now to remove that episode.
We absolutely hate that company now because of how they treat their authors is like absolutely ridiculous. The way that they treat their customers is unfair. And so like, this is I want to say like our official like goodbye to that company. Like we will never like ever talk about that company ever again.
Grace is mentioning, for those who don't know, the Bookish Box. We are cutting ties. I don't support them at all. I already asked for refunds. Mm-hmm. So I'm just done. Yep.
I canceled my subscription to their box like
a year ago. Over a year ago.
Yeah, over a year ago. I stopped buying their special editions. Like I think the last special edition I bought was like the From Blood and Ash, and I'm already considering selling it because I don't even care to want it anymore.
Yeah.
And we don't appreciate companies who don't look after their authors and who don't like treat them as actual human beings. Like that's our whole podcast, is like seeing authors in a new light, not just as like these people who write these amazing books, but also as like people who like struggle and like come up with writing blocks and have stories to tell and are like funny and talk about random things. We want authors to seem personable, which is why we have guests who are mainly authors on this podcast, because we know that they're people and they are very sensitive and aware of like their audience, and they want to do the best for their audience. And to see companies like take advantage of that is completely unfair, and that's something that we do not support. So as you guys know, I used to be a ride or die for Bookish Box, and now I can't even stand the sight of them.
Yeah. No, I unfollowed them on everything. I'm just, after the Katie Roberts situation, that was like my final straw where I was like, no, I cannot, like, as a person with a disability, I was like, I cannot and will not support this company at all. Even if, yes, Katie accepted their apology, but like, personally, I just can't anymore with their initial response. So that's kind of some updates for us. This is a very quick episode. This is like just us updating you. There will be an episode next week, so don't worry. I'm trying to get back into doing weekly episodes for you guys. And I don't know, anything else, Grace, to add?
What else to add? Oh, so I don't know if maybe you guys got that, but like, whatchamacallit? The prints that I have been posting on like Instagram and like the designs that we do there, I have been able to start working with some authors on like doing like character prints for their books and things. So that's super, super exciting. And something that I always talked about doing. And so now we're doing it. So like, things are happening.
Yeah.
Still bookish related. So that's been really exciting. I got to work with Lee Jaquay on her cover for Chances, which is like the first book in her Divine Corruption series, and it's already out, so you can go ahead and purchase it. And you can purchase my illustrated comic book cover, which is an alternate. You guys can go and purchase that. And I am going to be doing the rest of her series. So I think there's about 5 books, possibly, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how many books come out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing continuing that, and then doing some art prints for Sophie Lark and a couple other authors who I'm really excited to work with. So that's been really fun and really exciting.
Yeah.
I also I found my Kindle. I found my Kindle.
Yeah, I saw that.
I found my Kindle.
Where was it?
It was under my desk, literally under my desk on the floor. And it's so weird because I looked everywhere around my desk. I know I did. I looked everywhere around my desk to the point where like I cleaned everything, okay? And it was not there. And so it feels like, I was telling Pauline and Tanya this, it feels like someone took my Kindle, read like books, and then like was like, gotta get it back to her. And just like, where won't she look in an obvious place that it won't look like anybody just took it. So they threw it under my desk and they just put it there and be like, okay. And then they snuck out of my room. It feels like that. It feels like somebody took my Kindle, read a book, and then put it back in a place that I might find it. And it'd be like, oh, look, it's been there the whole time, when I know it hasn't. I know it hasn't. Anyways, that's where it was.
I'm not going to say anything, but I know she has a password on that thing. So if anybody tried to take it to read it, it's password protected.
Yeah, but the password is not that hard to remember. Well, at least people who know me. But yeah, so I have found it. I have been able to start reading, especially during my lunch breaks at work, because like, hanging around with kids all day, sometimes you need something adult.
Yeah.
To get escape into.
Yeah. Well, we'll end it here because Grace actually has to go. So that's just a kind of a little update on the podcast. And if you read the title of this podcast and you got scared, we planned this for a while.
We literally, like, I think it was like a FaceTime with Eamon back when we were planning the Disney trip.
Yeah.
Like a year ago. We were like, oh my gosh, like, because a lot of people were like, having disagreements in their friend groups and whatnot. And we were like, literally like looking at each other and we're just like, oh, we're definitely going to fight. We're going to fight. And this is what we're going to fight about. And then, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be that I'm this, that I'm that I'm this. And it's going to be about you being this and you doing that and you doing this. And then we were just like, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to fight about. And look at that. Cordial. We talked it out and we're like, we're already planning this argument.
We were planning to do a podcast episode where we faked breaking up.
Yeah, we were like, this is what we're going to say. We're going to be like, you know what, guys, this episode comes at a struggle. It's been a really long time coming, just because I just can't put on a face anymore. I can't hide behind secrets and fake conversations. But I literally cannot stand this person anymore, and I can't do a podcast with them anymore. So we're just gonna have to end the podcast here. I don't even know what to say, blah 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 blah, all of these things. And we came into this like, oh, this is the perfect time to do that now. And now,
who stuck to their guns and who was acting and who
no,
could not hold it in?
no,
'Cause you could not hold it in. You started laughing immediately when I started
because
acting
your
to
face,
perfection.
your face was not it. Your face was
I was
not
gonna
it.
start crying. That's what it was.
Nah, your face was not it. Your face, I looked at your face and I'm like, gosh, that's not it. I should have introduced the episode. I should have done it. 'Cause your face was not it.
I was trying to not look at the camera because I was like, if I look at the camera, I'm gonna be.
I know.
I'm gonna go.
Every time I kept looking at you, I kept laughing. Anyways,
yeah,
that's that. You guys will be hearing from me soon. You guys can still follow my Instagram and my TikTok, even though I never post on there anymore. And just to see where I'm at, what I'm doing, what I'm creating, things that I'm doing. Every now and then I'll tell Maggie to give a shout out to you guys for me. And just, it's been fun. And it will continue to be fun.
Yeah. So that's just our update for you guys. And
last thing. I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna shout them out. The rom-com event,
yes,
is going to be hosted by the Steamy Lit in Anaheim in August 2023. If you are planning to come, please do come. The Steamy Lit is a Latinx romance book box, and it is owned by Melissa Gill, who is Puerto Rican. I think she's Puerto Rican. And it is a Latinx owned company, and she has done so much for the romance community and uplifting like Hispanic voices and uplifting other Latinx authors, and just opening up about like sexuality and being completely okay with it. That's why her books have vibes and all of these things. And it's just like a great company to support. And she has been talking about wanting to do a convention of her own with romance authors and diverse romance authors, not just, skin, white people, but like many different POC authors and people, authors from different backgrounds and different types of diversity groups. We just completely support that. And we're so excited for that. And I'm so excited for Melissa to be doing this. It is such a great opportunity. And if you can support in any way that you can, go ahead and follow her. Go ahead and follow the TikTok account, the Instagram account, and just be on the lookout for tickets and come. And if you come, we'll be here. And so you get to see us in person, and it'll be so awesome to see you guys in person and like get to interact with you guys. It'll be such a great event, and I'm so looking forward to it. The author lineup list is so great so far. Make sure you guys keep checking them because they have so many good authors still being announced. It's just going to be a great thing. I'm so excited for it.
That also reminds me, for those of you who don't know, I live in Omaha. I live in buttfuck nowhere, Omaha, which I always say. I have been interviewing with companies in the LA, and I interviewed with a company on Friday, and I think it went very well. And I enjoyed the people who I interviewed with, and they are in LA. It's the LA campus for this company. So you never know. Grace and I will be there in person. We might have stuff for you there. So we do. Melissa, I met her at a Polycon, and she's just amazing. She's so sweet. And like when I look at, she kind of how Grace said, she doesn't just have like POC authors, but authors of like plus size as well, which I think like when it comes to diversity, everybody focuses a lot on like POC people and POC rep, but also like There's also disability rep. There's so many types of rep, and Melissa has been good in establishing that of her author base and what authors are going, and seeing all the authors that have been announced and confirmed. Like Christina Lauren is going. And y'all know I love Christina Lauren. Them two bitches are like my ride or die. And I'm very excited.
Kiara Simone is going.
Kiara Simone.
Wood is going.
Yeah.
Yes, Daria is going. Like all of these great authors that are going, and it's really going to be a great event. I just know it. It's going to go so well. So please come.
Yes. We'll see you there. For those who are coming, we'll see you there. And I will see you next week. And don't forget to check out A Very Bookish shop, because that will be launching next Friday, which is September 30th. Our University of Smutsville collection. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.